And like I told Frank, which is up here recording, I am not held responsible for anything that's said or recorded during this class. He is not allowed to sell or distribute the recording or anything, so any words you hear from me the rest of the day
will be on YouTube.
Yeah. We're going to have bloopers. How many of y'all are on Main Street right now? Remax.net? Okay, underneath the menu bar there's 4 little buttons. One of the buttons says My Leads. I want you to click on that little button or that link. And when you click on that link, it's going to log you into LeadStreet. A little login dash screen is going to show up. On the top right, there's a little red close. Click on that close. And that'll get you logged into LeadStreet. Now, before you click on anything else, on the home page of LeadStreet, there's recorded webinars. Everything that we're going to go over this morning, under the website, it says Preset Templates and Website Settings. We're going over that this morning. Okay? If we have time later this morning, we'll also go into Site Content. So each one of those videos are about 20 minutes or so. And so later on, if you want to go back, you can watch those videos. Also, over on your left-hand side, you see that list of blue buttons. It's okay, y'all can answer yes, no, maybe. Yes. Okay, so over on your left-hand side, the blue buttons. One button says Site Builder. Don't click on it. But if you click on that button, it'll walk you through steps and everything that we're going to go through this morning. Again, as a reminder, that's only valid for about the next 30 days. That stuff is going to change, okay? Also on your left-hand side, there's a button about halfway down that says Support Files. Under the Support Files, go ahead and click on that link, or that button over on your left-hand side, Support Files. This afternoon, we're going to go over some stuff in regards to search engine optimization. At the bottom of the support files, there's quite a few documents for you to read. I highly recommend that you either download them or just preview them from here and read those documents. They're going to reiterate some of the things that we're going to be covering this morning and this afternoon in regards to search engine optimization. Later on in class, we'll also talk about how to optimize a page. But we're not going to go into a lot of details because that leads into this afternoon. At any time, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand and speak out. If I'm going too fast, let me know. If the internet starts bogging down, you get disconnected, bumped off or something, let me know because this is a hands-on class. I want to make sure everybody's staying caught up. I am not responsible for you checking emails and getting completely lost. Your coworkers can make fun of you and poke at you, whatever. It's up to you. Okay, we're here to have fun. We have plenty of caffeinated coffee. For the ones that want it decaf, just think that it's decaf. It's really caffeinated. Okay? So, any questions before we get started? Okay, God, y'all are quiet. Smiles, but quiet. All right, if you will, scroll to the top and click on Site Builder. The first part of the class that we're going to go over is actually under the Site Builder, Site Design, Preset Templates. There's about 15 different templates that you can choose from. Based upon the template, determines what the page looks like or how the page is laid out. Each one of the templates also has default colors, background images, headers, and things like that. If you look up on the screen, this is my website. This is template 2. It looks nothing like the default settings from template 2. I went in and changed the background, the header, colors. I've added content, videos, and different callouts and things. Okay? That's a lot of the stuff that we're going to go over this morning. All right, so I just want to give you an idea of what we're going to be looking at. And all we're looking at this morning is the home page design of your website, colors, background images, and headers and stuff. Okay. Before we talk about preset templates, over on your right-hand side, just real quick, on the right-hand side it says learn more about Premier Services. Premier Services is a company called Real Leads out of New Jersey. They're tied into the LeadStreet system. I can't remember what the cost is. I think it's about $35 a month. You can pay them $35 a month, no contract, no setup fee, and they'll actually help you build pages, add images. They won't add content. You can write the content yourself, provide it to them, and they'll help you build the pages and everything else. There's no limit to the number of pages that they'll help you build. They'll also help you create SEO searches and things like that as well. So if you're interested in that, call them, or you can do it like me and do it yourself, okay? And we're going to go over some of that. My published website. That's pretty self-explanatory. My published website is your live website that the public has access to. It says version to the right of that. The version is every time you publish right below from the sandbox, it creates a new version of your website. And right now I'm at 495 versions of this website. This is a demo account. So during class, I publish 3, 4, 5 times just to show you some of the changes or things that are made. How many of you are new to Remax? All right. On your versions, it's probably going to say 0. Is that correct? Okay, that's because you haven't made any changes to your website. During class, you're more than welcome to publish at any time. All the other agents, if you've already made changes to your website, do not publish, because if you do, it's going to override those changes that you've made. Just keep everything inside the sandbox, and later on you can load your old website back inside there. Below the published website, you have what's called a sandbox. When you hear the word sandbox, what comes to mind? Play? Okay, this is the first class nobody said cats. This is not a litter box. Okay? The way I look at it is a sandbox, like as in kids. When kids are playing in a sandbox, what do? They build things made out of sand and everything. They destroy it and they come back and build some other things, right? The sandbox functions in that similar fashion. You go in, you make changes, it loads into the sandbox. You can preview it. If you like those changes, then you push it or publish live to the website. So your live website is one version. Your sandbox is a play area, so you can make changes to it without it affecting your live website. The sandbox is only available under the preset templates, website settings, and homepage wireframes. Any other tabs up on the top, site design, all the way over to your right-hand side, those first row of tabs, you make any changes inside there, they are live to the website. Okay, is everybody following so far? Right below the sandbox is previously published versions. That is a saved history. It displays the 7 most recent publishes from your sandbox. So each time that you publish, it creates a saved version based upon date and time. Basically what that does, if you really mess your website up, it allows you to go back in history and load a previous version into the sandbox and then publish that live. So if you mess something up really bad, you can go back to a previous version. What I have found with myself and with other agents is the more familiar you get with the website settings, preset templates, homepage wireframes, you're not going to use the previous versions, because if you make a change and you don't like it, you go right back to where that is and you make that change again. You don't have to revert everything to an older version. I'd highly recommend that for the next couple of weeks, especially the new agents. The way you get familiar with anything is by going in and playing with it. Same thing with your MLS system. How long did it take you to learn that one? Okay, let me rephrase that. How many of y'all are still learning the MLS system? I still am, and I've been with Remax for 15 years, and I've been inside HAR and 43 different other MLS boards. And I still learn something new every day that I go inside there. So this is the exact same thing. The more time you spend in it, the more familiar you're going to get with how it functions and how to make changes on your website. Okay, so any questions about those columns over on the right-hand side of the page? If you don't understand something, it is okay to say, hey, look, can you repeat it? I will reword it. I'll do what I can to explain it in a different way. I'm an IT person, so sometimes the way I explain things is not the way that some people don't understand it, okay? Since nobody says yay, nay, we're going to move on. So under Site Build or Site Design, Preset Templates, if you're not on the Preset Template tabs, click on the Preset Template tab. On your left-hand side, you have a list of 15 different templates to choose from. Now, before you start clicking on templates and everything, I just want to show you a couple of things here. This is template 1, if you'll look at the layout of the page, okay? You can look at the colors and everything, but actually look at the layout. On template 1, it has a quick search in the middle with photos in the background. If I go to template 2, it changes colors, the layout of the page changes, but it shows a quick search with a map, and then over on the right-hand side has what's called the featured properties. If I go to template 3, what's different on template 3? Okay, so the background image is different, the header is different, the colors are a little bit different, but is the layout of the page different? It's the exact same thing as 1. So template 1 and template 3 are the same layouts. The only difference are the default colors and background images and headers and that. That's the only difference. If I go to template 4, what's different on template 4? Yeah, backgrounds and colors and headers. Yes, whose phone? And look.
Come on.
Awesome, good sport, good sport. And what did I say earlier? I don't have to hold anybody accountable. So you can't get mad at me. You have to get mad at Frank for recording. So. Okay, so back on the templates. So on the 15 different templates, they're going to have default colors, images, and backgrounds, but what you really want to look at is how the page is laid out and determine what you want to use from there. What I have found is a lot of agents actually use template 2 and then go in and modify the colors, the images, the headers, and all of that. It's just by choice and it's by layout, so it's completely up to you how you make those changes. Now, before you go on and click on a bunch of stuff, I want to show you a few other things here. When you go to preset templates, and this is important because I even forget this sometimes. When you want to load a template into the sandbox, if you notice over here, right now there's no way to take that template and load it into a sandbox. The only way to load a template into the sandbox, you have to click on a template. And it doesn't matter what the template number is. When you click on that template, at the bottom, there's a button that appears and it says Load Template in the Sandbox. Out of these 3 tabs, Preset Templates, Website Settings, and Homepage Wireframes, the Preset Template tab is the only one that you have to manually click on a button to load it into the sandbox. The other 2 tabs, anytime you make a change, they automatically load into the sandbox. Now I'm going to click on template 2 and let me zoom in so you can see some of this. I'm going to load this into the sandbox. When I load template 2 in the sandbox or any template, it's going to come back and say, are you sure? By loading the template into the sandbox, it's going to clear everything out that was previously in the sandbox and load it with this current template. I'm okay with that, so I'm going to click on OK. When you load a template into the sandbox and you click OK, it automatically takes you over to the tab called the Homepage Wireframe Settings.
Do you want us to do that?
Not for right now. Okay, her question was, do you want us to go ahead and do that? Not right now, I'm just showing you some of the steps. In a few minutes, we're going to go back and we're going to go through this step by step. Now, the reason I choose template 2 is because I want to point something out. Every template has 4 common features. Okay? Every template, 4 common features. And as long as you understand how those 4 features function, it doesn't matter what template you choose. Every template has a quick search, a featured properties, text fields, and callouts. Now I already know somebody's going to ask, what's a callout? A callout is a link, or actually it's an image that links to a form or a page. Okay? And the callout, you cannot edit or modify how it works. You either use the callout or you don't. In a few minutes, we're actually going to get into callouts. Yes, ma'am?
Page or a form?
Correct. It links to a form or a page.
What was the first one? Quick what?
Quick search, featured properties, text or text fields, and callouts. Now the reason I bring up template 2 is because it actually has 2 columns on here. And if you look up on the screen, and if you're in the back, I've got magnifying glasses or binoculars that you can use. But if you look up on the screen, how many quick search options are there available? How many quick search options? Count again. Count again. 1. There's only 1 quick search. It's over on your left-hand side. Okay, 1 quick search. How many text fields? Count again. Count again. 6. 6 text fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many featured properties? Okay, now featured properties, that's actually pretty easy. Every template, there's only 1 featured property settings. Okay, so you either use the featured properties or you don't. How many callout options are available? Y'all are learning fast. There's 3. There's 1, 2, 3. Now, yes, sir?
How many featured properties can you use in featured properties?
We're going to get into featured properties in a minute. Okay? So the reason I point this out is based upon the template that you choose determines how many options of the quick searches, text fields, and callouts are available. Okay? In template 2, there's 1 quick search, 6 text fields, and 3 callouts. How many featured properties are available in every template? There's only 1, so always remember that. All right, what I want you to do is go ahead and go to Site Builder, Site Design, Preset Templates. Click on Template 1. And when you click on Template 1, how do you load that into the sandbox? Okay. The button at the bottom, Load Template in the sandbox, and then click OK. So what we're doing right now, is this affecting your live website? Okay. If you publish, then are you changing your live website? Yes. All right. So for everybody that does not have any versions, feel free to publish however many times you want to and get familiar with going through everything that we're doing today. Don't be worried about somebody finding your website. As of right now, ain't nobody found your website, so you're good to go. Okay? That's why we're here today, is to work on your website and to build it up so somebody can find your website. All right, so we clicked on Template 1. So I have the same questions for you. How many quick searches are available? Count again. Somebody said the right answer. No, there's not. There's 2. There's 2. Quick search. Quick search with photo, quick search with map. You can only use 1 at a time, but you have the option to choose one or the other.
Is anybody else having that column on the right jumping across their page? This keeps moving across the page.
It's because you're on an Apple.
I figured so.
I don't know why that's doing that. Go ahead and hit refresh and see if that changes it.
Is this it?
Yeah, try that. Then go back to Site Builder. Okay, and then scroll down. Okay, I don't know. Okay, you have Safari. Do you have Firefox?
No.
It didn't used to.
Chrome?
It didn't used
No.
to.
You have Google Chrome?
No.
No? Okay, I don't know why that's jumping. I've never seen that before.
It's been doing it consistently. It's be here and there, and it's like a moving target. It's making me crazy.
It's going to be the browser that's doing that. It's not the Apple. I'm just poking fun at you. It's not the computer itself, but it's the browser.
Okay, so I need to have Chrome on here.
I use Chrome a lot for mine. Okay, so I would recommend that you use Chrome. Who else is on Apple's, Macs? All right, some of the things that you're going to run into today, you might have some formatting issues. They say they recommend that you use Internet Explorer. I actually use Google Chrome. During class, I use Internet Explorer, but for personal use, I use Google Chrome. It actually works pretty good inside LeadStreet. Safari, you will have some formatting issues. Firefox also.
She's on Safari and it's not jumping.
I'm just saying, you have the possibility. So that's why I use Google Chrome, just to make sure there's no issues. Okay, where was I at earlier? Oh yeah, quick searches. So there's two quick searches. Quick search photos, quick search with map. How many call outs?
3.
Count again.
Oh, 2.
There's 2. 5. There's not even 5 fields. All right, so in this template, or template 1, there's 2 callouts. Template 2, there's 3 callouts, okay? How many text fields? 4, okay? So basically, it doesn't matter what template you choose, you're going to have multiple options of some of these features. The text fields and callouts, you're going to have multiple options. Based on the template, you might have 1 or 2 different options for quick searches. Okay? And remember, there's always only one setting for featured properties. You either use the featured properties or you don't itself. Now, we're going to go, yes sir?
So each template has the 4 similar common characteristics of the text, the quick search, all that.
Correct.
It just depends on how many texts you want, how many. The search only has 1, but the other ones have multiples of each one.
Correct. Basically what it comes down to is the way the page is laid out, the design, the cells, tables, whatever you want to call them, wireframes. That's going to determine how many of those options are available. And in template 1, if you want to use all 4 of those sections or those fields as text fields, you have that option to do it.
Is there any research that says that people read more than look at pictures or anything like that? Should you put more photos on there than text? You understand what my question is?
Okay, and I'm going to answer your question coming from a search engine aspect, okay?
Please.
Photos are good, however, search engines can't read photos. Search engines read content. So it's better to have more content than photos. It helps to have photos because people are visual, but you want to make sure you have more content. Okay, so now we're going to get inside here and we're going to start playing around with some of this stuff. The first part up at the top, over on your left-hand side, says quick search with photos. And this is why I have 496 publishes. So on quick search with photos, click on settings. Now the quick search with photos. If you look up on the screen, you're going to see this is template 1. And this is a quick search with a photo background. So the quick search with photos, you click on settings, you should have a window that appears with multiple photos. And there's about 30 or so photos that are inside here. As you click on the photos, you'll notice that they highlight in yellow. If you select more than one photo, anytime the page is refreshed, the background image in that quick search will rotate out or randomly select one of those images and update it. If you select all 30 photos, then it's going to be randomly selecting one of those 30 photos every time the page is refreshed. It is not a flash slideshow, so as you're looking at the page, it's not going to change. It's only when the page is refreshed will that background image change. Do y'all see the numbers below the images? 790 by 225. I'm going to keep this really simple. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. If you know what it means, you can upload your own background image for your quick search. But it has to be 790, which is 790 pixels in width by 225 pixels in height. If it's not in those dimensions, what happens? Gets distorted, pixelated, and everything else, okay? So you can only upload images. You want to make sure that they're 790 by 225. You can only delete the images that you've uploaded. You can't delete images that are by default inside here.
Is it easy to learn how to create those if you want to do some custom stuff? Is there a tutorial on how to do a 790 by 225?
Yeah.
If you go to YouTube,
Yep.
actually if you go to,
I use pickresize.com.
And you could
You just upload the photo and then you choose the dimensions and boom, it takes 5 seconds.
pickresize.com.
Download and
that's a good one, pickresize.com. Okay, I've got a good website for y'all here in a little while too. I'll show y'all how to steal videos. Did I say that? I mean, how to borrow videos. Okay, so you can go inside here, you select multiple photos. If you don't like the photo, just click on that photo and it'll unselect it. Okay, so any questions about that? So far, pretty simple? Okay. When you make your selections, don't forget at the bottom, there's a button. It says Submit Selections. A lot of agents will forget. They'll go in, they'll make the selections of the photos, they'll click on the photos, they'll close it out, they'll go back, refresh their website to see if it changes, and it doesn't change because they did not click on Submit Selections. When you submit, it saves it to your sandbox.
You want us to do that?
Yes, go ahead. And I don't know if I answered this earlier or somebody asked, or somebody probably will. Can you select every photo inside there? Yes. I'm not going to tell you what photos to select. It's up to you. It's your choice. It's up to you. You want to select one photo? You want to select 30 photos? You want to select 3? It's up to you. Select the photos, click Submit. Loads it to the sandbox. Click OK. Don't close this out because we have 2 other things to cover. Once you submit, up at the top of that same window, Quick Search Overlays. Now the Quick Search Overlay, what it's referencing is the image over on your right-hand side of the Quick Search. Now on the Quick Search Overlays, you have 4 options. You can choose No Photo, the Remax Balloon, Magnifying Glass, or the number 1 with the Remax Balloon itself. In this option, you either choose one or none. Okay. These do not rotate out, they are static. You'll also notice that it does not allow you to upload your own images. Does anybody want to guess why? They paid $1 bajillion for these images?
That was what he said yesterday.
No.
Yeah, contradict mine. You'll be recorded.
Cut out,
Because what?
because of being cut out, so they have to be able to.
Because they have a transparent background, and that's what she's talking about. The reason we don't allow agents to upload their own images here is because the image has to have a transparent background. How many of you have been to a website and the background is one color, but then there's an image that has a white box going around the image? Y'all seen that before? It's because that image does not have a transparent background. And so we don't allow the agents to upload that, because if it was, or if it did not have the transparent background, then you'd have a white box going across that quick search. Okay? So that's the reason that it's set that way. So your option is select one or none, submit, gets loaded into the sandbox. Okay. The last option up at the top, display options. Now by default, all of the quick searches, display options, beds and baths are set to no. It doesn't matter what template you choose. You want to make sure that you go into the quick search settings, the display options, and set the beds and baths to yes. The reason for that is what it does, it adds that to the quick search. By default, when somebody does a search right now on the website, all they can search by is city, zip, price range. By setting the beds and baths to yes, you're enabling the consumer to search by city, zip code, price, bedrooms, and baths. Now to tell you a little funny story. Reliance, which is out of Bellevue, Washington, close to Seattle, they're the ones that actually manage and operate the system itself, okay? We're licensing it from them to use it and all this. Pretty much almost every employee inside there is engineers. Anybody married to an engineer? Okay. If you're married to an engineer, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I've got 2 engineers in my family. My sister's married engineers, don't know why. But basically, I asked them, we need to change the default settings in here to yes. So that way, the agents will have the option to turn them off. You want to know what their response was back to me? No, they're like, well, we are giving the agents the options. We're giving them the option to turn it on. I'm like, no, reverse that. And like, but they still have the option. I'm like, never mind, I quit. I gave up arguing with them. So it doesn't matter what template you choose, make sure you go into the quick search settings, set the beds and baths to yes, submit selections, it loads it into the sandbox, and then we're done with this window that opens up. Go ahead and click close. Then over on your sandbox, click on preview. Okay, so when you click on preview, you should see, you might not see the image change, but you should see the image over on the right hand side. If you made the change to that, that should change. And you should also see the beds and baths display. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you click on preview from the sandbox, do you still have that window open? Okay. When you click on preview, are you still seeing this page open? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. The beds and baths are at the bottom on the quick search. Now, the reason I ask if you still have this open, when you click on preview from the sandbox, at the top of the browser, okay, or the top of the window, you see that gray bar going across the top where it says viewing your website preview or publish or cancel. Do y'all see that? Okay. If you like the changes that you've made, you can publish from here. Now I'm going to show you something the way I do it. I like being able to see the change actually make inside LeadStreet. And this is what I'm talking about. I always cancel from here. If I like the changes that I've made, I publish from the sandbox. And the reason I publish from the sandbox is I can actually see the change being made under the previously published versions. So to give you an example, I'm at 496. I click yes, and I just saw it change. Okay, I like being able just to see that publish, make that change itself. When you publish from the browser, it still changes, you just don't see it. I like looking at the numbers, making sure that it's actually saving what I'm doing. Okay, so
We don't hit cancel, we just go back to.
if you hit cancel, it closes that window out, and it takes you back in the LeadStreet. That's another reason why I like canceling that.
So it's okay to cancel.
Yes, it's okay to cancel from there. You cancel from there, it's not erasing anything. All you're doing is closing that browser or that tab or that window out. That's all you're doing.
And then you go back in, it'll take you back to your sandbox, and then you hit publish.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
All you are doing is changing your quick search. What does it do to the other options on your previously published page?
give you an example, if you had published live template 2, and right now we're on template 1, if you publish, it's going to load template 1 in place of template 2.
Template one.
Correct.
What if you already have template one and all we did was the top part, the quick search? What does it do to your call outs and things like that?
You have to reset everything all over again.
Reset it.
Correct. So her question is, if you've already published changes and you've made changes to call outs, text, and other stuff, and you go back and you select template 1, it loads it into the sandbox, and you just make some of the changes that we've made right now. If you publish, it's going to change whatever you've done before, and you have to reassociate or reselect those settings.
Do it all at once.
Well, the reason I'm using template 1 is because we're going step by step down the page itself. Once you find a template that you're going to use, you're probably not going to change templates. I've been using the same template for 6 months, but I've been changing things on the page itself.
So then you just pull up your existing page and change those elements you want to change on that.
Yeah, so her question is, so basically once you select your template that you're going to use, at that point, the only 2 tabs you'll be going to is the website settings and homepage wireframes. You're not going to go to templates again. As a reminder, if you do select a different template and you load that into the sandbox and that's the template you want to use, you do have to go back in to the quick search settings, reselect whatever you had your options before. Same thing with your text fields, callouts, and featured properties if you're going to use it. So it's like resetting your website up all over again if you change templates. Okay, so quick search with photos. How many photos can you select? What happens if you select more than one photo? Okay, some people are saying they rotate. It randomly grabs a photo.